Hey everybody, Billy Bob here, and it's Monday morning quarterback. And today I'm going to do an Ohio State edition. Now, all season long, I've pretty much done Monday morning quarterback college edition. So I'm going to break it down. Today I'm going to do Buckeye Ohio State edition. And then as we go through the week, maybe we'll do the rest of the championship games. Talk a little bit about the CFP, although at some point we could talk about them ad nauseum, right? Over and over and over. We just puke it all out. So a couple things before we get started. This morning it took me probably 20 minutes to get on a machine at Planet Fitness because for the first 15 minutes I was consoling my buddy Phil, who's a Notre Dame fan, and reliving the good, the bad, and the ugly. I guess there was no good. The bad and the ugly of Notre Dame not getting in the college football playoff. And then Mark, used to coach basketball at the University of Illinois. I had to have a little back and forth with him where he called me a fan. And at first I kind of, based on the conversation, I kind of took it at offense, but now I actually look at it as a positive, and I'll have to tell him that when I see him on Wednesday. But a couple annoying things. One, it's become commonplace in college football, and that is the fans on a big play. They've got this new hand gesture that I don't even understand. Who are they trying to scare? What are they trying to do? It's like this, they put their finger, the forefinger and thumb, I guess, is that your forefinger? Whatever that finger is, and your thumb together, and they go, ooh, like, what is that? I mean, Jesus, yell, scream, whatever, but that is annoying every time I see it. Second thing that was annoying to me in the Ohio State game, I do like Gus Johnson. I actually like Joel Klatt too, but I got extremely tired, maybe because the guy kept catching passes, extremely tired of Gus saying, Charlie B, for Charlie Becker, Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee, every time he caught a pass. It's Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee. So he caught a few passes. Good for him. He actually was the leading receiver with 6 catches for 128 yards for Indiana, and a lot of that was because their second receiver, his name escapes me right now, but number 6, I believe, was out, and so you had Elijah Surratt and Charlie Becker. All right, so the way I'm going to do this tonight is I did rewatch the game today. So I'm just going to go down through my thoughts as I rewatch the game. And I'm going to go through my Indiana thoughts first, and then I'm going to go through my Buckeye thoughts. So follow along. And so here's what I got. And these are thoughts. Some of them are random, but most of them are in sync or in sequence of how I was watching the game. This one is more random, but it's pertinent to the whole game, and that is Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza is actually a pretty tough dude. He got beat up a little bit. He didn't get hit as much as I would like, but he took a huge hit the very first play of the game by Caden Curry. He got up off the mat. He was out one play. Came back in. He moves well for a big guy, 6'5". He moves pretty well. And he made plays when they needed plays to be made. I'm not saying Julian Sand didn't. I'm saying Fernando Mendoza, when they needed some plays, when they needed to hit some passes, Fernando Mendoza made the plays when they needed to. Again, not a attack on Ohio State's defense. We'll talk about them in a little bit. So D'Angelo Pons. So for those of you that didn't pay attention, D'Angelo Pons played with Jeremiah Smith at Chaminade Madonna down in South Florida. They were teammates. Pons, 5'9", 170 pounds. Jeremiah, 6'3", 223. And Pons got handled early, like early in the game, first quarter, maybe a little over the first quarter. But then he actually came back and played a really good game, and he played tight coverage. He was right on Jeremiah on one of the back shoulder throws that Sand couldn't complete in the end zone, and he made another really good play, I think, Tate or Ennis. So congratulations to D'Angelo Pons. Another guy is Rolijah Hardy. Hardy had, I believe it was 11 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. And that guy was all over the field. Landino, the defensive lineman, he beat Tagra Shabola a few times, had, I think, at least a sack, if not 2 sacks. And then Aiden Fisher, the middle linebacker, actually played a good game too. So, they ran for, what did they run for here? Let's take a look. I had it up. They ran for 118 yards, which Joel Klatt made a big deal. They were only the second team this year to run for over 100 yards on the Buckeyes. However, 30, I guess figures don't lie. Liars figure, figures don't lie. What I'm going to tell you is Kaelon Black had one run of 37 yards. So other than the 37-yard run, they gained 81 yards rushing. Still pretty good, holding the number 2 team in the country to that amount of yardage. Kaelon Black averaged 9 yards a carry during the regular season. He only averaged 4.3 in the game. Nico, I don't know if his name's Nico, but anyway, the kicker, Radicek. I don't remember his first name. I don't know where I got Nico. His name's Radicek. The guy's the kicker of the year in college football. He had not missed a field goal all year long. And yet, he missed a 40-yard field goal. Why do I tell you that? You'll know more in a little while. Brian Haynes, the Indiana defensive coordinator, according to Joel Klatt, I couldn't tell because we weren't seeing the full view, or the 22 view, I think they call it, which is what the coaches watch, that he was doing a really good job at disguising coverages, which is something we actually hear about Matt Patricia. And in that disguising, he apparently, according to Joel Klatt, confused Julian Sayin in some instances because the guy didn't have time to throw. He was under pressure. More on that. Elijah Surratt, that back shoulder catch, I know we'll address a little more of this, but, I saw a lot of criticism online about Jermaine Matthews Jr. I got it right this time, Patrick Green. Jermaine Matthews Jr., but he couldn't have been more inside of his uniform on that play. That was just a perfect throw. You can't stop that. The only way you can stop it is if the guy don't catch the ball. So that's most of what I had in Indiana. Other than they kept the ball for 2 minutes and 35 seconds at the end of the game after we missed a field goal with 2:51 to go. Actually, it wasn't quite 2:35. I think it was 2:33 because we got the ball back with 18 seconds to go. We really didn't have – we were kind of in a bind there because we only had one timeout left. And, they were trying to play the 2-minute warning against that. So Ohio State. One of the guys that's been criticized over the last couple of weeks prior to the Michigan game, the Michigan game, is Carnell Tate, oh, is he packing it in? He's not playing. You know, when the interception happened on the opening drive there, second pass, Julian saying, Carnell Tate was all over it. That guy was hustling to get to make the tackle. By the way, the ball was then at the Ohio State 23. The defense bowed up and only gave up a field goal, which, you know, I don't think our D was the problem. I don't know what the problem was. Saying a lot of pressure on him most of the night. There were sometimes he held the ball a little too long. Just my opinion. I'm just a fan. I mean, I don't know the coverages. I don't know the situations. It just appeared like there were a few times he did have the ability to throw the ball or time to throw the ball, and he maybe held it a little long. I heard this on I didn't think about it too much, but I heard it today as I was listening to different people around the social media world and the podcast world, that when we get into the red zone, and maybe more likely inside the 10, we all of a sudden go to this 13 or 14 personnel, which means 3 or 4 tight ends. So we're bringing everybody in tight, not spreading it out. And one of our great successes last year was the back shoulder or the fade in the end zone. And when you're in tight in 13 or 14, there's no chance of that. We don't even have wide receivers in the game. We only have tight ends in the game, and we're bringing everybody in tight, and then we're trying to run the ball into a formation that has everybody stacked up in the middle. I don't know. Again, that's what I've heard. I kind of, in rewatching the game, I saw that, and we do need to correct the red zone. We have not been great, and sometimes not even good in the red zone all year long. Field goals are okay, but field goals don't win you the game. Touchdowns win you the game. Touchdowns make you elite. We were not elite in this game. Definitely not on offense. Defense, we're still really good, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So the Tate touchdown, and this is how fans can be. So the Tate touchdown, I'm watching, and Julian's starting to scramble, and I'm going, because this is all TV showing me, Bo Jackson, he's open. He's right in the middle of the field. He's wide open. It's like a safety valve. I couldn't see Carnell Tate. Saying rolling out, saw Carnell, hit him, big touchdown, nice job. A lot of people are banging on Tegra Shabola, and probably rightfully so. But as I rewatched the game, what I saw was each and every guy made mistakes and gave up sacks or the ability for the defense to make a play on a running back throughout the game. And I'm talking each and every guy. I'm talking Saraveld. I saw him a couple times whiff on blocks. I saw Hinsman. I saw Philip Daniels. I saw Luke Montgomery. Maybe the only guy I didn't see, and he only played about a quarter and a half, maybe 2 quarters, is Gabe Van Sickle. I didn't really see him give up some stuff that I would have thought allowed a guy to get to Sayin or get to the back before he could get started. Let's see. 2 minutes 47. So we had 2 minutes. There's a lot to be made about the management or mismanagement of the time at the end of the first half. I can't tell you. It seemed like there was some maybe mismanagement. I don't know what's going through Ryan Day's head. Mike or Brian Hartline's head. I just don't know. There was 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. We got the ball. We had 3 timeouts. This is the end of the first half. We got a first down, and so we then ran a bunch of time off the clock and didn't use our timeouts, and we turned the ball back over with 20-some seconds to go, of which Illinois had 2 timeouts, and they didn't use them either. So, some are critical. Joel Klatt was critical. Why didn't Curt Cignetti use timeouts to save more time at the end of the first half too, knowing he was going to get the ball back? James Peoples played one play, and probably the reason is because the single play they put him in the game, they called a pass play, and James Peoples' single assignment was to block, and he whiffed on the block and got Julian Sayin sacked. So James Peoples, crazy. Defense, they held Indiana to 3 points. When they had on the turnover, they were at the 23. Again, as I said, they bowed up, held them to 3. They've done that all year long. Caden Curry was a beast. Ironically, he was playing against a former Buckeye who was not a starter. He started one game for the Buckeyes, Zen Michalski, and he ate Zen Michalski for lunch. Iggy and Matthews Jr., I thought they'd pick on Iggy most of the night, try and get him to commit some PIs, pass interference calls. They did pick on him a little bit, but Iggy, not only didn't he get any PIs, but he got a pick when Lorenzo Styles put it on Surratt behind the line of scrimmage, which you're allowed to contact the receiver. So Iggy had a good game. Jermaine Matthews had an okay game. Some people will criticize him highly because it was highlighted at the end that Charlie Becker caught a pass to extend the drive to run out the majority of the clock. Overall, played an okay game. Not a great game. Arvell Reese. What happened? What has happened to Arvell Reese? Arvell Reese was a beast. About the first half of the season, maybe the first 3 quarters of the season. But I'm thinking, where is Arvell Reese? And then, so when I rewatched the game, here's what you got from the Big Ten championship game. Arvell Reese had 1 tackle, and he had 1 pressure where he was mentioned. Now, it was a good pressure. It was on a 3rd and 5, and he was the guy pressuring Mendoza to throw the ball away that created a 4th down that the Buckeyes got the ball back and went on that 8-minute drive, which ended in, as we all know now, a missed field goal. Kenyatta Jackson had a really good game. Curry, Jackson, both really good, if not great games. Kenyatta Jackson would have had an unbelievable game if he wouldn't have been held. Did that cost us the game? Probably not. Was he held a lot? Without a doubt. And you can go watch the film. Back to Arvell Reese for a minute. So I said Arvell, he only had 1 tackle in the championship game and 1 pressure. So I said, I really haven't seen much of Arvell in the last few games. So I went back, and here's what I got. So I'll start with the oldest game first and come to current. UCLA game, he had 3 tackles, no sacks. The Rutgers game, 1 tackle, no sacks. The game against the Wolverines, 2 tackles, no sacks. So in the last 4 games, Arvell Reese has had 4, 6, 7 tackles. 7 tackles in 4 games. What has happened to Arvell Reese? He was a beast. Not so much the last 4 games of the year. We need to figure that out. Is it scheme? But even when he was the robber or the spy, he was making more plays than he's made lately. Third quarter. Now let's Ohio State saying he broke away. They called him down. They said his momentum was on a potential sack. The one official didn't say his forward progress or he was in the grasp. The other official called it that way. So that and a sack prior to that put us at a 3rd and 27. Both Tegra and Daniels on that series whiffed on their blocks. Okay. Saying 5 sacks. He had 5 sacks all year. Indiana sacked him 5 times in the game. Now, that's not new news for Indiana. Their defense sacked Luke Altmaier from Illinois 7 times. They sacked Dante Moore from Oregon 6 times. So I guess we should feel good that they only sacked Sayin 5 times, right? Not really. Oh, our first 3rd down. Now we had some plays that we went down the field, but it never got to 3rd down. But our first 3rd down conversion didn't come till 6 minutes and 21 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We're only 4 of 12, 25% on 3rd down. So 33%, 33%. Bo Jackson, nice game, ran hard. Multiple times he was inches from breaking a huge run, if not going all the way. Ifs and buts, it's a game of inches, all the cliches. There was a 3rd and 1 inside the red zone, and I only highlight this because the only receiver we had out for catching a pass out in was Jeremiah, and I think that's the one D'Angelo Pons made a great play on. And then we had we say he doesn't get the first, he can't sneak. He sneaked effectively, except his knee ended up being down on a replay. We give IU the ball. And then with 10:45 left in the game, 4th quarter, get the ball at our own 6. We drove it all the way down the field. 3rd and 1 with 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 4 tight ends in the game. And Bo Jackson was kind of like the relief guy right at the goal line, but he was covered up. Threw it to Bennett Christian. He was covered up. Why on 3rd and 1, we're running 4 tight ends, and then we're throwing the ball. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was. I just know it didn't work. And then 4th and 1, we tried the field goal. We know what happened there. I thought when I first saw it, I thought Jaden Fielding overcompensated because we were on the far hash. And then when I resaw it, he was inside the hash. So Jaden Fielding's actually a good kicker. He's 16 and 19 on the year, 84%. But here's the problem. He missed a big kick to tie the game against Indiana. He missed a big kick against the Wolverines last year. So that's all we remember, right? And this actually was his best kicking year of his 3. He was like 80% his first year, 75% his second year, and 84%. So it's his best, but yet it's the kick that counts when it counts. He missed. Now, maybe we should have gone for it on 4th and 1. If you do that, what's the big deal? You're going to give him the ball at the 2-yard line. with 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go. I don't know. Play calling, I saw all kinds of people crabbing and moaning, complaining. I didn't see much wrong in rewatching the game. There are a couple things here or there. I'm not a coach. I don't know the circumstance. I don't know the defense. I don't know what the tendencies are. But nobody complained about the play calling for the last 16 games, right? The only place I see we need to clean up is the red zone, because that's where it counts the most. We can get there. We just haven't been able to complete the task, right? Oh, lastly, 16-1. Okay? People's hair is on fire. You know, we're 16-1. We won 16 in a row. 4 playoff games against top 20 teams. 12 games this year. If we would have gone through it all, we'd have been 20-0. You know how difficult that is, go 20-0? So if you're going to lose a game, better this game, because we're still a number 2 seed in the playoffs, and we're still in the playoffs, right? If you lose, which we could, if you lose in the playoffs, then you're done. You're done. By the way, before I get out of here, and I know I've run way long, Mrs. Billy Bob said, how long do you think your video is going to be? I said, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Well, she was more right. She said it always ends up being half hour. It's close. Closer to her number than mine. But the last thought I have, you know, our last loss, we lost 13-10. Don't know if that means anything. By the way, Indiana averaged 44 points a game. We held them to 13. Now, we averaged 37. They held us to 10. But the point being, our defense wasn't the cause. Our offense stuck in the red zone. Every other number was almost the same. Almost the same. 17 first downs. Both teams, 17 first downs. They were better on third down conversion. Total yards, 340 to 322. Time of possession, less than 30, maybe 30 seconds. We actually possessed the ball for 30 minutes and 13 seconds. They possessed it for 29:47. You know, and yet people's hair is on fire. I haven't seen their hair on fire that much since we lost a year ago to the Blue. That's what I got. It's a wrap. America, land of the free because of the brave. Stay focused, America. Billy Bob, peace out.